Save It Private Grandma. That is some insane war footage. Absolutely terrifying. That woman, as somebody just said, I think Captain in chat just said, she must have taken her vitamins, but she was Peppo running though, man. Oh, yo, did you guys see this video? This video's so cool. I'm sorry, okay, I shouldn't be soying out over this. So this is a wild video from the front line in Ukraine. So in the Donbass, a lot of fighting is still going on. The Russians are trying to take Bakhmut to not much avail. It looks kind of like footage from World War I at this point, Bakhmut does. I don't know if you guys saw this. Actually, let me show you guys some pictures from Bakhmut when I say it looks like World War I. I'm not kidding. It legitimately looks like somebody took it straight out of the First World War. Where is it? I think it's right... Yeah, here it is. It looks like it was taken straight out of World War I. Absolutely insane. This is pictures from the battle. Look at these trees just shredded in half. Oh my god. How do you even get that landscape? Look at these trenches. Oh my goodness. God. And they're not even particularly well-made trenches. They're just temporary. And this is like, hey, here's some pictures from World War I. Just saying, looks a lot like World War I, right? So the fighting over there is pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. Well, some volunteers over there decided that they were going to help a grandma who was still stuck in the Donbass. And I've been to the Donbass, I've been to Kramatorsk, I've been to the front line around Zaporozhye and around a few areas. And a lot of the people who are on the front line and are stuck there are the elderly, the disabled, and people with nowhere else to go. Or people who are quite stubborn. And a lot of times those are the elderly because they've been living there for their whole lives and now this war is going to force them off of it. There's some cases where people have lived there since the Second World War and they stayed on it for the entirety of the war. And now this war is going to force them off their homes? No siree. So a lot of times it's the elderly though, is my point. And volunteers in the Donbass finally were able to convince a grandma to evacuate, and they help her get out of the area while they were taking heavy artillery fire. Watch this.
Здравствуйте. Бабуля, как вас зовут?
Галька!
Галя! Галюня, пойдем! Галя! Давайте. В машину. Давайте. Сідайте. Вперед!
Дай вам Бог.
Давайте. Поїхали, гради, давайте. Тут всі поля накрили. Ярик, давай, газ в пол. Бабушка, ви в порядку? Вилазим.
Oh, they crashed.
Забили на машину, пересідай.
Wow.
Я відкрию.
Dude, I remember when we were riding in vans along the front line, man, it was a terrifying experience. Not only because drones had spotted us earlier in the day, we had to run into the forest to avoid them, but like you can hear the artillery in the distance. And like every piece of footage you see online, right? Every piece of footage you see online of people dying, like maybe like 80% of them from this war is of vehicle explosions. Tanks blowing up, BTRs, armored vehicles, vans, cars, you name it, right? Trucks, all those things blowing up. And then you're in this van with like 6, 7, 8 soldiers crunched up with your camera, you got your helmet on, you've got your vest on, but these helmet and the vest is not going to help you if you take a direct hit. You're all dead. And you're just bumping along the road. You're driving like very fast. The driver's flooring it because they want to get you out of the area where you're in range of artillery as quickly as possible. You know, they're going fast. They don't want to go slow because it'd be easier to hit you. And you're bumping in the road, every bump, and you hear the artillery in the distance, and you're just sitting there and you're saying nothing. You're trying to keep your mind off of it. You're trying to do mental math. I'm doing mental math constantly. Like, well, you know, there's been 1 million people who have fought in this war, and very few of them have actually died, and the odds of me blowing up in this exact moment are quite low, and I'm just doing this mental math and trying to think of something else to keep my mind off it, and you're just riding along. But man, at no point did our car crash. There was one point where our car broke down while there was a drone above us, which was really bad. That actually happened twice that day, that our car broke down. The second time it broke a mile from Russian positions. But car trouble is the worst thing you can run into, because the last thing you want to do is delay and just stay in a single spot when you're traveling in these areas, because then it makes it easier for people to target you. And it looks like they're being targeted. It looks like they're being targeted in this footage. So for them to crash and stop here is incredibly dangerous because they're within range. They've shown that they're within range because they're getting bombed. And now they're on foot. Now they're on foot. And they're on foot with an elderly person. Somebody who can't run and run around and all that. They're on foot with an elderly person. So what are they going to do? Are they going to pick her up? I don't know. Let's watch.
Бабуля, вас добре, нормально?
Let me be clear. When you look at these vehicles, right? Like this vehicle here, these vehicles have no armor. This is just a civilian vehicle. If an artillery shell hits it, you're done. If somebody was to come up next to this and just Uzi it, or take an AK or a pistol, even a pistol, handgun, the bullets would go through these doors like it was Swiss cheese. These doors cannot stop bullets. The only thing on this vehicle that can stop bullets is the engine. So you always hide behind the engine in these types of scenarios.
Забили на машину, пересідай. Я відкрию. Бабуля, вас добре, нормально?
Да, сейчас я расскажу, як
Сейчас
я.
на адреналінчику добіжите і... Вперед, вперед, вперед! Давай, давай.
Jesus Christ. Wow, she can run. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. She's falling down. Oh, snap. She can run, though. Did you see her? She's moving. She is moving. Look at this. Wow. But then she begins to
Бабуля,
fall.
давайте. Лягай. Бабуль, давайте, давайте. Понимаю, больно. Сейчас добежим, все посмотрим. Бабуля, вперед! Сука! Вперед, 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 вперед! Вперед! Давайте, давайте. Поможи, без другу руку понести. Я вижу стоп, но думаю, он успеет, А потом я вижу сиденье перед собой. А потом вижу, как бабка летит. Вас мы точно не забудем. Да. Алина.
Алька.
Алька!
Алька.
Це що, бабусь?
Це молитва і оберіг.
Дякую.
Та все в повному бойовому, дружище. Назло всім.
Okay, and she's okay. She got out of there. Save it, Private Grandma. That is some insane war footage. Absolutely terrifying. That woman, as somebody just said, I think Captain in chat just said, she must have taken her vitamins, but she was Peppo running though, man. Galka the grandma, man, she made it out of there. Man, she was like she ran out of there. Man, this is some insane footage, man. This really is some insane footage. My goodness. Could you imagine your grandmother having to do all this? Could you imagine? I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine, like, actually putting somebody's family in a situation like this.